Revival Outreach Movement. It's not a church, it's not a ministry, it's not whatever you think, it's just an outreach movement. So that's Burning Flame for you. The Burning Flame will begin our series of podcasts, from month of October. But I want to make you to understand that we will be having our pre-launching today. So please and please share it to your loved ones, share it to your friends, share it to everybody, and let them know that we will be from 2 p.m. So 2 p.m. today, the pre-launching will begin. We'll be having seasoned ministers of God, seasoned ministers that God have used in various times. Ministers, many of us might know some of them. Many of them might not be known to us, but please, I'm advising you that you tune in to this stream today and hear what God has to say. And this podcast series is tagged Revival is Now. Revival is Now. We live in a world whereby you see many churches, many denominations, many pastors, many ministers, but we are not getting the result we want to get. The scripture shows us in the book of Acts that a man took a city for Christ. So altogether, the 12 city of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ took his city for Christ. And so we have many denominations, many ministers, many pastors, many prophets, position and titles today, but we are not seeing the expected result as what we were supposed to have. So therefore, it's a stirring. It has been a body in our heart that God is looking out for people he will use for this end time revival. So please tune in to this series of podcasts starting from today. The pre-launching starting from today. Then the main podcast series will start from the month of October. From the 1st of October, the podcast series will begin down as God helped us. As much we'll be releasing many series and many episodes of it. You won't want to miss it. That's why if you have not yet if you are not yet tuned in to the Burning Flame Association YouTube channel, please do that very quickly. You are watching now. Please make sure you tune into the Burning Association YouTube channel so you can be able to get all the series of the podcast as it keep dropping on weekly basis, because we'll be uploading every week. We're uploading a series of episodes, a series of the podcast every week. So make sure you are a subscriber to the YouTube channel so you can get all the podcasts as it's will be dropping from October. Most especially today's pre-launching is going to be very special. Very special. Don't miss it for anything. Make sure you are connected. Share the link. If for those who are on YouTube now, watching and listening now, make sure you get this link. Share it on your social media handles. Share it across all the platforms you are, and let someone know that something is happening today. Hosted by Burning Association. Make sure they are aware. Share the link, and God will bless you. Once again, God will be waiting for you. The ministers will be waiting to equip believers for this last day. Some time ago, I told us, or those who were in our last meeting, I told us that we are in a season of end time revival, the worldwide revival. That's what we are realizing. If you look at your listening from any content of the world, you will observe that is actually playing out. We are in the moment of the end time revival, the worldwide revival. So make sure you key in, and heaven is ready to deposit so much vessel. It's not looking for how well do you are, how capable you are. It's looking for willing vessel. Be willing to submit to him. If you find a vessel that is willing to submit to him, then he's ready to pour out as much as he has into that vessel. So make sure you are available. Come and hear what God has to say. Come and find out the secret. Why are we not seeing the revival that we were once told of? Many of us will talk about Catherine Kuma. Why is it that we are not seeing the revival of those dimensions of Catherine Kuma today? We talk about many patriarchs of old, and we talk about many people of old, how God used them. The question is, why is it not repeating nowadays? We talk so many stories of them. Why are we not saying it? There are so many things God will be revealing to us in this podcast series. So I won't want any of us to miss out. If you're a minister, make sure you tune in. You're a pastor, make sure you tune in. You are in whatever offices at all, according to the grace of God given to you, by the election of grace, make sure you tune in. It's a meeting not just for the young people alone, for everybody who wants to see the move move of God. Of course, we'll be having, seasoned ministers who will be joining the podcast. Seasoned ministers will be joining the podcast. As time goes on, they'll be joining the podcast just to speak to us. Many elderly men, fathers of faith, many of them will be joining us for this podcast series to speak God's mind to us. So make sure you are part of it and make sure you don't miss out, because great mysteries will be revealed. I told us some time ago that the amount of God you can demonstrate, the amount of God you can manifest depends on the amount of light and revelation you have gotten from Him. So there's no two way about it. It is the amount of revelation you get from God, that's the amount of revelation you can manifest. So come and get revelation, come and get more insight, come and get the light. If you really want to be used for God by God in this end time revival movement that the world entirely is into now, if you really want to be used by God, then make sure you follow the podcast series starting from today. The pre-launch is starting from today. Then the main podcast series will begin from the 1st of October. God is waiting for you. It's high time we come out of talking how God used men of old. That time will begin to enter into the hospitals. And there are many people who are dying that should not die, but they die because our generation lack power. So you see many men of God who save their power. I'm not saying they don't have power, but the level of the power we are seeing in the church today is not. We have not yet gotten to the level God is expecting of us. If Petrarch of old can do great things, then the Bible says